Depeche Mode, Strangelove, guitar tabs, and guitar lesson. I'll play all the different parts right at the beginning here. After that, I'll go back through, give the full explanation for everything. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. It's the best way of letting me know that you like this video and that you want to see more Depeche Mode stuff. Now, let's get on into it. Okay, so the intro, a lot of interpreting like synths and all that good stuff here. We do actually get some guitar riffs in there, which is nice. This initial intro section, happens throughout the song a time or two. Picking through mostly this E minor shape to start, and this is kind of a more dynamic bass hits with this one. I think the other couple times it happens in the song, you don't really need to worry about nailing those bass hits with it. You can probably just hit like the main bass note and let it ring over the top. But I'll show you this way, just to lock it in here. And we start with the open low E, and then we come down, we hit the 2D, open G, back to the 2D, 2 on the G. Alright, come off, hit the open G, and then we'll hit the open low E with the octave, the 2 on the D, a couple times. And that second time we hit it, we're kind of starting the next little scale, which is pretty close to what we just did. Alright, so we come up to a open G, 2D, come down, hit a couple of 2s on the G, open, 2 on the D. Okay, so that whole first part slowly here. Alright, and now basically we just kind of shift the bass notes. We'd move to a C bass note, so 3 on the A there. And we hit that, come down, do that same little scale, the 2, D, open G, 2D, 2G, open G. Alright, and this time, those 2 hits that we hit that 2 on the D just the same, but instead of hitting the open low E, we hit the open A string. Okay, shifts to an A minor chord here. And then kind of the same little scale. Add a little different thing on the end here, where we hit the open G, 2D, then we'll bounce up, hit a couple 3s on the B, open B to open G. Alright, let's try it all slowly here. Chorus section here. I'll show you the basic chords that are going on. Not really any like deliberate chords being played here. It's more just like a bass thing. But overall, the chords, we just basically do an E minor for a measure, and then we split a measure, A minor and C. All right, and the bass is kind of doing its riff over the top of it, which is a couple twos on the D, open to 2, back to the 2. All right, then a little scale up on the A string, a couple open A's, open A to 2, to 3. And it just loops those 2 measures there. And the chorus end is kind of where we get like some synth chords that actually come in. And it does an E minor for a measure, A minor for a measure, throws in a G chord now for a measure. And then it does a C. And with the C, you can add this little scale where we just do a couple 3s on the A, couple open Ds to 2. All right, leads us into the next section. With the verse sections, we get a cool little guitar riff in there. And just picking through the chord shapes, starts with this E minor. We do the open low E, 2 on the A, hit the open G, back to the 2A, and then we do a 4, 2, D to 2A. So let's try it slowly. And then back to the low E. Essentially, you just repeat that twice. All right, and at the end of the second time, instead of coming back to that low E, we bump it up now to the 3rd fret to make it the C. All right, and kind of the same little picking pattern through here. We hit the 3 on the A, hit the open G, back to the 3A. Then we do our 4, 2, D, back to the 3A. And we just go through that one once, and then we lift off to make it an A, and that same picking pattern just with the A bass note. Okay, so the open low A, once again, hit the open G, come back to the open low A, 4, 2, D, back to the open low A. And then we just loop the whole thing. So let's try it all slowly now. And at the end of the verses, we get the guitar just doing this little single line scale thing. But I'll show you the chords over the top of it. Basically, the guitar just does this, where it does a 3, 2A, slides that 2 up to 5, comes up, hits a 5E, and then a 7A. All right, and over the top of that, the chords going on, E minor for a measure, do a D sus2 for a measure, and then we do these kind of dynamic strums. It's an A minor, it's a 1, 2, 3, and then to a B minor. All right, and then a C, 1, 2, 3, to the D sus2. All right, and lastly, we get a cool little scale that comes over the top of the final 2 choruses. Does this little bit. 2, 4 on the D, open G, open B. Okay, cool sounding thing. And the second one, 2, 4 D, open G to 2 G. All right, and then the last one, we go 2, 4 D, open G, 1 on the B. And we would just repeat those 3 little scales over the final choruses.